Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. So glad that you have joined us. Welcome Facebook, welcome podcast listeners, those of you on YouTube. Thank you. If you miss a coffee chat, you can always find those at ryanfrank.com or kidsmatter.com. Listen, we have a lot of great conversations happening in Kids Matter's I Love Kidmin community. Now, those of you that are watching this have a bit of an advantage because you can see my screen. Now, you're kind of seeing my dashboard because I'm an admin in the group, but over to the right-hand side, I just want to scroll down here. We've got some great conversations happening. Of course, we have our announcement about our Parenting in Coronaville workshop. You can find all of that information at kidsmatter.com. Yeah, Amanda Little's got a little picture here. How many of you have seen this face on a lot of kids after you pass out snacks when you're already started eating and someone says, let's pray? Good little picture. I do want to highlight a couple of these conversations. Those of you using Planning Center, Glinda says, you have a step-by-step guide or procedure that you give people to help them walk through the process. And we've got some good conversations happening. That conversation is new in the last 30 minutes. Becky Webb yesterday started a conversation with 60 comments. I'm looking to collect a lot of ideas about how parents are supporting their children's spiritual development at home. Boy, 60 comments, and I've read all of these comments this morning. They are good ones. Becky, thanks for posting that conversation. I hope that you're getting some good help there.
Order them on Amazon. It comes with like a set of 5 or 8, and you can share them with all your teacher friends, and it really makes a difference. So try one.
Okay, that video started toward the end of the video because I've already watched it. But this is a mask. Let me set it up. This is a mask that you can purchase, like a guard, that goes underneath your mask. And especially for teachers and people that have to wear masks all day, because it pulls the mask isn't right on your face. Gives you a little more breathing space. Really
It's really good. Okay, so it's called like a face bracket, and you stick it on your face, and you put your mask on. If I can get around my ear. Okay, and when you wear it, it keeps your mask off your face, so you can hear me clearly, and I'm not breathing my mask in, and my mask doesn't move off my face, and it's really, really cool. It keeps.
Yes, that's 170 comments on that thing. That's Angie Madden, but Emily Smith shared the post. So you might want to check that out for some of your leaders or for yourself if you're having to wear a mask all day long. Deborah's looking for somebody to come to a church in Texas and train her leaders. 49 comments. Megan, an hour ago, who in here does a rotation style curriculum with groups or ages, moving them to different themed rooms? Would you mind showing me your room themes? It's good. Here we've got 48 comments. Am I the only one struggling with reopening children's ministry? What are you doing? All right, so we've got lots of ideas there. This community is great. I mean, nearly 25,000 of you, and where you can find encouragement, help, resources. Here we've got, does anybody have a template for kids to take notes during church? Prayer request with 108 comments. We're praying for Cindy's mom. I've been praying for Cindy through the day today. So it's all in the I Love Kidmin Facebook community. Thank you so much for being such an active part of this community. Today I want to talk to you about your pandemic Kidmin checkup. Your pandemic Kidmin checkup. What are we, 6 months into this pandemic? I mean, I think technically January was the first case reported in China, but I think when it really began to hit here, as far as us feeling it, was probably April, March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, we're 6 months or whatever into this pandemic. And I want to give you a 6-month checkup. You ready? 5 questions. Number 1, how's your spiritual life? Is your spiritual life a priority? I know these are bonker days. I know these are crazy days. I was reading Psalm 39 this morning. Psalm 39, verse 16, or Psalm 31, verse 19. Let me read it to you off my screen. It says, how abundant are the good things that you have stored up for those who fear you, that you bestow in the sight of all for those who take refuge in you. You know what? Maybe you feel a lot of anxiety right now. Maybe you feel a lot of uncertainty right now. Maybe you are feeling some discouragement right now. There is abundance that the Lord would love to give to you, and he would love to bestow it in the sight of all, but it requires you fearing the Lord and taking refuge in him. How's your spiritual life? How much time are you spending, friends, with the Lord? Not in lesson prep, okay? But how much time are you spending yourself with the Lord? Your spiritual life, especially, all the time, but especially during a pandemic like this, your spiritual life really needs to be a priority. Number 2, are you praying for your kids and families faithfully? Are you praying for your kids and families faithfully? If there's anything that you should lead with, especially during a pandemic, although I believe it's very true prior and post-pandemic, is you should lead with empathy. Empathy is I put myself in the shoes of another. When I really put myself in the shoes of those kids that I serve and those families that I serve, it brings me to a point of prayer. Your kids, your families need you praying for them. And you may not be able to touch them like you once did. Everything has gone digital these days, but you can pray for them. I know for a lot of you, you still have not been able to regather, and that hurts, and it's tough. But you can pray, and you can let those kids and parents know that you're praying for them. So ask them, how can I pray for you? Specifically, how can I pray? Get a prayer force together. If you've never had a prayer team in your children's ministry, now's the time to create a prayer team. There are people in your church that you will never successfully get them to enter the classroom and teach, but they'd love to pray. And they'll take your prayer requests all day long, and they'll pray. Start a prayer team. Start a prayer force in your church that is praying specifically for those kids and for those families. Number 3, are you supporting your pastor? How well are you doing supporting your pastor even during these days? Now, I asked this morning on Facebook. Let me refresh to make sure that I've got all the comments here. I asked this morning, what are you doing practically to support your pastor during this pandemic? Candace says, I'm rotating different Zoom coffee hours, so it doesn't always fall on him. Trish, I'm taking him off the ledge, LOL. No, she says, I'm supporting his vision to move forward, and I'm staying encouraging and optimistic. I like that. Josh Denhart, I preached for him last Sunday. Every pastor needs a break. Carrie, I've been writing encouraging notes every few weeks. I tell him face to face, I think he's doing a great job. Wendy Hicks, I'm helping practical ways like making announcements. Running a virtual pod here, which includes his kids. Lots of prayer. Ida, I'm praying. Kathy, I've been praying. Lori, our church just bought him and his wife a 2-night getaway, shopping spree. Sounds great. Jennifer, trying to stay positive in every interaction. Ariel, praying and helping wherever is needed. Janet, nothing. The pastor sees this as a vacation. I'll like it. I'm not sure what that's all about. All right, Lindy, I rub his feet, and that's because Lindy's married to her husband. Okay, so she can do that with her, or she's married to her pastor. She said our production minister noticed that he hadn't taken a day off in the last 40-something Sundays and offered to preach for him. That meant a lot to him and myself. Amber, my pastor's facing surgery, so we've been trying to encourage him in the process, give him some encouragement. And I won't read anymore. Bring him coffee, praying for him, let him know the impact that he is making. What can you do, friends, to practically support your pastor during these times? Yes, I know you're trying to deal with your own stuff, and you've got all these kids and volunteers, and you're trying to keep your own plate spinning in the air. But first and foremost, how can you support your pastor? Y'all do such a great job with this. Don't lose sight of that. All right, your pandemic Kidmin checkup. Number 1, is your spiritual life a priority? Number 2, are you praying for your kids and families? Number 3, are you supporting your pastor? Number 4, who are you connecting with every day? Who are you connecting with every day? Don't fall into the trap of thinking that, well, I'm doing the weekly Zoom or the weekly pre-recorded service, that's good enough. No, you need to be making as many connections as possible, as frequently as possible. Pick up the phone, do some FaceTimes, send some texts, send some postcards, send some cards of encouragement. Stop by someone's house on the way home and make a visit. Remember visitation? And I know it's different during a pandemic, and you might not be able to go in the house. You might have to stop 6 feet from the front door, but stop and visit somebody. Drop off some candy or some balloons or something to brighten someone's day. How can you connect with people on social media? How can you even go old school, as I said a minute ago, and just pick up the phone and talk to somebody? Who can you connect with? And who are you connecting with every day? My final point, number 5 of my pandemic Kidmin checklist. Are you looking at the right place? Where are you looking for your encouragement? Where are you looking for your encouragement? Don't look to your pastor for encouragement. Don't look to your volunteers. Don't look to your spouse. Look to the Lord for your encouragement. Don't look at your metrics, how many people you had on Zoom. I know maybe your numbers are doing this. Maybe they're doing this. Don't look at how many views that video got on YouTube. Don't look at how many people actually replied to your email when you asked them all to reply. Instead, look to the Lord. Be faithful to the calling that God has placed on your life. Listen, the Lord gives abundance. That's my word for you today. Psalm 31:19, abundance. He gives abundance. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to make it all happen. Lean in on the Lord. Make sure you're looking at the right place. Be faithful in praying for the kids. Be faithful in loving the kids. Be faithful in supporting your volunteers. Be faithful in supporting your pastor. Be faithful in being a team player. And be faithful in doing your very best. You know, God does not expect you to be like me, nor does he expect me to be like you. God does not expect your church to look like the church down the road, nor does he expect that church to look like yours. He expects you to walk with him. He expects you to be faithful to the ministry of the gospel. He expects you to be filled with the Holy Spirit. So do that to the best of your ability. Do that to the best of your ability today. Number 1, is your spiritual life a priority? Number 2, are you praying for your kids and families? Number 3, Are you supporting your pastor? Number 4, who are you connecting with every day? Are you making good connections with people every day? Number 5, are you looking at the right place? Keep your eyes on the Lord. Now, we can support you along the way. I just got a text message within the last 10 minutes that the newest issue of Kids Matter is now at the printer. If you're not subscribed to Kids Matter magazine, you need to get subscribed. Our fall conference, MegaCon, 2,500 people were at MegaCon this past October in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, our fall conference, Kidmin Nation MegaCon this fall, we've had to move to an online and expanded online because of the pandemic. But you need to be participating. Go to kidminnation.com. Push that MegaCon button at the top of the page. Our Parenting in Coronaville workshop is at kidsmatter.com. Put a Z in there. This is a way for you, a 1-hour workshop for you to give all of the families in your church to help them during this pandemic. Now's the time to snag it up. It releases September the 8th. The I Love Kidmin Facebook community. Telling you what, lean in on the community. Don't go at this alone. Friend, thanks for joining me on the coffee chat. The phone number, if you've got a word of encouragement, a question, someone that you think I should bring in on the coffee chat is right there, 833-792-6372. Thanks for joining me on today's coffee chat. We'll be back tomorrow, same time. Hope to see you there.